Hi, I'm Beverly Banor Brown. I'm an intuitive life and relationship coach, a dating coach, and a love mentor. And I'm also a professional intuitive. I do intuitive readings for people really now all over the world and have been doing this work for over 3 decades. Love the work, and I love when I get viewer questions. Today's topic is narcissistic relationships, how to avoid being a flying monkey. What a name, what a concept. Flying monkeys. What are flying monkeys? And most important, if you have found yourself cast in that role, or you want to avoid that, how can you avoid being a flying monkey? To answer the question adequately, let me just go into a little bit of the background of how that name came into the language. L. Frank Baum, I believe it was in the early part of the 20th century, wrote a wonderful book called The Wizard of Oz. It was all about Dorothy and her adventures. It turned out she was having an incredible dream about going to the Emerald Kingdom, finding the wizard, so that she could get back home to the farm, to her Auntie Em, to everything that was wonderful and familiar. And yet, there were times when she thought, as the famous cliche says, that the grass was greener. That in the wonderful Wizard of Oz's world of the Emerald Kingdom, everything would be easy. Everything would be colorful and light and not mundane, not dealing with the pig slop of the farm and feeding the chickens and all the rest of it. And of course, the flying monkeys were a critical part, actually, even though in the film The Wizard of Oz, with Judy Garland and Ray Bolger and all the other extraordinary cast members for that classic film, made in 1939, if memory serves me, the flying monkeys were very critically important because they represented those wild situations where we get scared, where our thoughts are racing, where we're not clear, where we are so in a panic and so anxious that we're not necessarily clearing away the outer distractions, the other people who are telling us what to think, what to do, how to look, how to dress, how to pursue our career goals, what to do in personal relationships. We're not being still enough to hear not only the inner guidance from our brain, but from our hearts, from our gut. We're not listening adequately. So a flying monkey, as it plays out in human relationships, especially ones with crazy makers, energy vampires, people who have a lot of narcissistic traits, is when a person is listening to somebody, often in innocence, who is bad-mouthing someone else they're having a relationship, a friendship with, perhaps a parent, a child, perhaps a coworker, perhaps somebody in a spiritual group or community. And the crazy monkey, or the flying monkey, they're also called crazy sometimes too, because the behavior that ensues is often pretty crazy making. The flying monkey individual is the one oftentimes who hears about, oh, my mate is so horrible, doesn't understand me, is verbally abusive, is running around on me, going out and having affairs, and I can't trust this person steals from me, and this whole litany of things to imply that, let's say in this case it's a man who's got a bad wife, so he says, he can't trust her. He's feeling victimized by her. And he doesn't know how to leave because he wants to be a good husband, he wants to be responsible and all the rest of it. When the reality, all too often, is that he's making it up as he goes along. Why? Because he wants to get the flying monkey's sympathy. He wants to build himself up in his or her eyes and look like the hero who is beleaguered by this terrible situation, so that he has more battery charger supply from yet another channel. The flying monkey really goes into high gear sometimes when they open their mouths to other friends. They open their mouths to the social circle and says, "Oh my God, do you know what he goes through? He's so victimized by this terrible, evil, awful wife. What is she thinking? Why doesn't she realize what a treasure she's got and shape up or ship out?" And a mess ensues. Flying monkeys gossip sometimes. Flying monkeys speak out of turn about situations that they may have sworn to secrecy about, so their boundaries are not being very reliable or very healthy. When you're in the position of being a flying monkey, you are playing right into the manipulations of narcissistic people, of drama queens, drama kings, who want to foment change because they get bored when there's a lack of drama. They are accustomed to drama from their familiarity with the chaotic environment many times they grew up in early on, and so energetically they get used to that. And when they don't have it, when things are going along too smoothly, it feels unfamiliar, and they want to do something that stirs up the waters, so to speak, and gets them muddied. And they've got all these flying monkeys scurrying around thinking that they are in need of great help and rescue, enabling them sometimes through the battery charge of supply, because remember, attention is what they want. Attention is their lifeblood. Attention is their drug of choice. It can get very ugly. It can get very messy. And it is something which you've fallen into the trap of. You really would do well, most likely, to think about your situation and reevaluate your position. Now, there are many, many people who get pulled in, lured in by the manipulations of the crazy maker, the energy vampire, because remember, they want your approval. They need to feel that they've got backups should the relationship come to a grinding halt, which it usually does eventually, because either they go into the discard phase and get rid of the wife or the husband, as the case may be, or if they don't discard them first, the mate will finally say, "Oh my God, finds out that you've been speaking badly, harshly about me, smearing my good reputation. What do I need this for?" And if they're healthy enough, they may suggest going for some coaching or not, or they may just get to the point where they throw their hands up in the air and they say, "I don't know who or what else is out there, but it's got to be better than this, so I'm out of here." And they move on. And almost invariably, they have a very major project on their hands to regain their sense of themselves, to up their self-esteem, which was likely low to begin with, or they wouldn't have stayed in relationship with someone who behaves this way for so long. Let me give you an action plan, simple, easy action plan to safeguard against becoming a flying monkey, or if you have gotten sucked into that situation, how to gracefully and graciously extricate yourself once you decide that that's what you want to do. Only if and when you decide it's your choice and your decision, because I offer these videos, as always, with great love and respect for everybody out there, knowing that you are all quite intelligent and are capable of making your own choices and decisions. So, it's offered educationally, not designed or intended ever to replace professional care and guidance. And if you've been manipulated by somebody like this, it is sometimes, the gift of it really is, that you have a chance to reassess how carefully you're listening to your own inner voice. Are you hearing the message? Are you getting distracted from some other aspect of your own life which you're a little bit displeased with or bored with? Is there some area where you're angry about something that's unresolved and you might want to do some inner reflection. So golden nugget, let me share that with you, several golden nuggets which I believe will help you to avoid ever becoming a flying monkey. And I do hope it works for you should you choose to use it. Golden nugget number 1 for today is understand that if you are an empathetic person, a sympathetic ear, that's a very beautiful quality. And there are people in the world who will not take advantage of that. They will appreciate you for it. They will helpfully share with you and it'll be fine. However, and it's a giant however, it's a major red flag when someone, often someone you really don't know very well, takes you aside and starts telling you all the evil, awful things that he perceives about his wife, his child, his mother, his father, and seeks to enlist your sympathetic attention over and over again. Golden nugget number 2 for today. Be a little bit on guard if somebody keeps repeating over and over this litany of awful, evil things that this other person does, if you see that they're really not doing much of anything about changing the situation for the better, either by going and getting some professional help themselves, doing some journal work, doing some reflection in whatever way works for them. If you start to see a pattern of behavior where they just really want to hear themselves vent, then understand that you need to perhaps ask the question, what is my role in this? Am I being used just as a sounding board? Or is this actually serving some other favorable purpose which might lead to some sort of resolution for this person? Next golden nugget. Look at your own life. How satisfied are you physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, personally, professionally, materially, financially? How is your life? How could it be better? What's already terrific that you can appreciate? How's it going? And ask yourself, how is it affecting you if you get so caught up in this other person's drama, which they clearly seem to be so stuck in, they're not doing anything to change it for the better? And what would be a better use of your time and energy? Next golden nugget, and perhaps the most important, are you violating the confidentiality bonds? Are you speaking to other people about this? Are you engaging in gossiping? How can you take the high road and stop this behavior? How willing are you to change? And the last golden nugget for today is, if you're finding yourself fascinated by this other person's drama, and they can be extraordinarily witty and entertaining in the way that they tell the stories, because let's face it, they're great actors, they're great raconteurs usually, and they can be extremely entertaining. How can you give yourself in your own life more of a sense of joy, more of a sense of purposefulness and achievement? How can you take the same time that you're devoting so much to possibly even fixating on this other person's life and spend that time better on your own life and your own relationships, your own family, your own friends, expanding your circle, pursuing your own passions and interests and aptitudes and lifetime goals? I've given you a lot to think about here, and I hope that you will reflect on it, because being a flying monkey is an uncomfortable, exhausting, and draining situation which nobody in their right mind would want to go through. So hopefully this video has helped you to avoid that or extricate yourself from it if you're feeling embroiled in it. I'm Beverly Banor Brown, wishing you healthy relationships and great joy. Until next time, bye for now.